on Shabbat, Perik Yud Zayin Mishnah Chet. Another Mishnah about different laws of muktzeh on Shabbat. Says the Mishnah, Kol Kisuyei HaKilim, all vessel utensil covers, Sheyesh Lem Beit Achiza, if they have a handle, Nitalim b'Shabbat. They can be handled, they can be moved on Shabbat. Okay, so that seems pretty obvious. So we're going to see, we'll see that the Bartunur is going to say that we're talking about a very specific case. Amar Rabbi Yossi said, when is this true? B'kisui karka. If it is the cover in the ground, the cover of the ground. B'kisui kelim, but if you're covering actually regular utensils, benkach ubenkach, whether or not, benkach ubenkach, meaning this way or that way, meaning whether or not the handle, the cover has a handle or not, nitalim b'Shabbat. Those can be moved, the covers can be moved on Shabbat anyway. So let's see what's going on in this Mishnah. Let's look at the Bartunura. The Bartunura says the following. The Gemara Ka'amar, the Gemara says, B'kisuye kelim, we're talking about regular covers for regular utensils. Kuli alma lo plige deshari. Nobody argues, everyone agrees that that's permitted. I mean, if you have a Tupperware, or you have a dresser and has a cover on it, or whatever, you have a, I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a container, it has a cover on it, even if the cover doesn't have a handle, the cover, that's definitely mutar. Aval gav dletbuhu beit achiza, even if it doesn't have a handle. Ubekisuye karkaot, and coverings on the ground, kagon kisui shel bor vedut, like a pit, a dut. What's a dut? Gotta love Jastro. A dut is a subterranean masoned storeroom cistern or a cellar. Back to the Mishnah, back to the Gemara. So if you have a pit cover or a cell cover, a pothole cover, right? So everyone agrees. So the Mishnah says, then everyone agrees. Kuli alma lo pligi. Everyone agrees. The asur ileit behu beit achiza. You're not allowed to touch it. You're not allowed to move it if it doesn't have a handle. The Tosafot Yontif says, have a kiboneh. It's like building in some way. If you put the pothole cover, take it off, or put it on. Ki plige. What do they argue? So what is the machloket in this Mishnah? Kisuyei kelim hamechubarim lekarkot. Let's say I took a kli, I took utensil, and I built it into the ground. I found an in-ground storage example here in Google Pictures. So this, nowadays you would almost never find it. I searched it in Google Pictures for a bunch of examples like this. Nowadays nobody would create a trash can root cellar. But in their times, they didn't have refrigeration, didn't have electricity. The most effective way to store food and things of that nature would have put it in the ground, because that was the coolest place that they had in order to maintain the food. So therefore, this was probably somewhat common. If they had a kli that was mechubar the karka, that was attached to the ground. So therefore, what about the coverings of keli mechubar the karka? Ma'asav karka damyan. One position, the Tanakama says, no, it's like the ground. So therefore, if it has a handle, yes, then you can move it. If it doesn't, not. U'ma'asav, Rabbi Yossi says, lav kimikar damyan, and therefore, ben kach u'bekach, either way, you can move it on Shabbat. So I made you a chart, because that's what I do. Let's look at the chart here. Okay, kisuye kelim, we'll start at the bottom. Any kinds of kelim, whether it has, I got this backwards. Kisuye karka, my bad, I got this backwards. Hold on, let's pause and actually change it. There we go. Kisuye kelim, so everyone holds, whether it has a handle, b'yesh lo beit achiza, in lo beit achiza, totally mutar. These are kelim. Kisuye karka, everyone agrees, if it has a handle, it's mutar. If it doesn't have a handle, then it's asur. Okay, then both Tanakama and Rabbi Yossi agree. Where's their machloket? Okay, if it doesn't have a handle, and it's kisuye kelim ha'mechubrim lakarka, the in-ground storage that we said. Okay, this is the nature of the machloket. Let's highlight that one area. This is the area of the machloket that appears in the Mishnah. If it has no beit achiza, okay, the Tanakama says it's asur. Why kimikarka out damyan? It's like land. Rabbi Yossi says no, mutar. It's lav kimikarka out damyan. And the Bartunur is kind enough to tell us halacha kechachamim. Halacha is like chachamim. Since it's connected to the ground, it's like karka, and therefore, when you build your in-ground storage cellar, if it has a handle, then you can remove the cover on Shabbat. But if it doesn't have a handle, then you can't. We'll stop here. As always, comments or questions, email me at rspoto@gmail.com. I've gotten some really good questions recently. I don't know when you're watching this, so feel free to email me whenever you want. And we'll dedicate those to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman.